By the 2040s, standard building construction was dominated by disposable designs and planned obsolescence. But one military facility completely rejected that trend. It was built with Roman concrete, a highly durable mix utilizing volcanic pumice and non-corroding rebar, designed to last for millennia. The aesthetic of the compound was a jarring contrast. It featured heavy, ominous structures, inspired by Todt fortifications, the massive bunkers built by Germany for the World War II Atlantic Wall. Yet nestled among these brutalist blocks were futuristic geodesic domes, sturdy, pillarless, rounded buildings, all surrounded by vibrant flora and roaming peacocks. The mastermind behind this facility was known simply as the General. He recognized a fatal flaw in the American military apparatus. Congress held the purse strings. A military waiting on bureaucratic budget approvals is caught in a persistent cycle of feast or famine, leaving forces utterly unprepared when major conflicts suddenly arise. Looking for a more stable economic model, the General studied foreign adversaries. He noted the Chinese People's Liberation Army, or PLA, the communist-controlled armed forces of mainland China, ran highly profitable state-owned enterprises. They generated their own revenue and reinvested it directly into military operations, bypassing legislative delays. To close the gap, the General aggressively applied memetics, the scientific study of how cultural information transfers via ideas. He routinely absorbed the best historical concepts from rival cultures. He took inspiration from figures like Admiral Zhang He, a Chinese explorer whose massive ocean-faring fleets preceded European ships by centuries, before his efforts were suppressed by his own government. The General realized if he didn't exploit these overlooked historical advantages, someone else would. He concluded that true military supremacy wouldn't come from a new weapons platform. It would only come from achieving total financial independence. By generating his own infinite wealth, he could permanently detach his forces from the governed purse. To achieve this, the General combined two major industries: massive renewable energy grids and Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin is a digital currency generated by powerful computers solving complex algorithms, and it requires immense amounts of electricity. By installing massive arrays of solar panels and wind turbines on huge tracts of military land, his electricity costs dropped to exactly zero. Because the energy was free, the digital currency his servers generated became pure, untraceable profit. This animated diagram shows how the system scaled through physical vertical integration. Free solar and wind energy powers the Bitcoin miner. Then, the immense waste heat generated by those computer processors is piped directly into the geodesic greenhouses to grow organic food and herbs in any climate. The financial output was aggressively reinvested. As the diagram expands, you can see the Bitcoin profits are converted into cash to purchase commercial 3D printers, devices that synthesize three-dimensional objects from digital models. Soon, those machines were automated to print other 3D printers, robots, and even the base's concrete infrastructure. This created an endless, closed-loop supply chain of free energy, organic food, and autonomous manufacturing. Bypassing the traditional, sluggish supply system allowed the General to outfit his fiercely loyal cadre with the absolute best gear on Earth. By solving the root problem of funding, the General successfully transformed a stagnant military unit into an autonomous, self-replicating economic startup. With infinite money and zero bureaucratic oversight, the General heavily optimized his soldiers' daily lives. He started by banning all confusing acronyms, replacing them with hyper-precise German-style compound words to eliminate dangerous miscommunications. A field manual simply became field manual. Biological needs were heavily streamlined. Menus were reformulated into easy-eat meals with no bones or rinds, allowing troops to consume perfectly nutritious organic food in under a minute. They even installed high-tech bidets, toilets that clean with water and hot air, to completely eliminate the chafing and logistical waste of medieval paper squares. This optimization extended into a wild shift in research and development. Instead of building explosive, lethal weapons, they redirected their infinite budget toward a deeply bizarre, entirely non-lethal arsenal. They engineered specialized psychological drone swarms. Vomit drones spewed butanic acid, the chemical component of bile, to induce immediate sickness. Stork drones played the sounds of crying babies to trigger emotional disorientation. They even deployed projectors, drones that beamed highly explicit videos onto nearby surfaces to completely stun enemy forces. The tactical endgame of these distractions was extraction. kidnap drones would swoop in to physically abduct the disoriented enemy. Meanwhile, safe passage drones offered free rides, food, and alcohol to bribe the opposing forces, transporting them unharmed straight to luxurious processing centers. When violence was absolutely unavoidable, they relied on a strictly biological contingency. Since airborne drones can be hacked by electronic warfare, they recovered extinct DNA to clone flocks of carnivorous dinosaurs, deploying them as unhackable frontline skirmishers. Unlimited resources allowed this military to evolve past traditional kinetic destruction. They weaponized absurdity, focusing their entire doctrine on capturing and re-educating the enemy rather than killing them. The general formalized this economic dominance into Operation Cognizant Force. His military used their infinite Bitcoin wealth to saturate local and federal elections with their own veteran candidates. By establishing indispensable high-tech industries in strategic voting districts, they legally captured the United States government from the inside. This soft power model was then exported globally to failed states. The general airlifted in huge 3D printers, solar grids, and organic food. By providing immediate prosperity and physical security, the local populations inevitably invited the general's forces to stay and peaceably run their nations. To ensure democratic control in host nations, they instituted Operation Mattis Matrix, ironically named after a famous general who chose to have no children. This generous biological incentive program selectively bred top-scoring soldiers, ensuring the military maintained expanding demographic and intellectual superiority over the civilian population. Behind closed doors, this biological focus escalated into black market genetic warfare. They recovered ancient DNA to clone prestigious historical figures, like a recreated George Washington serving as an adjutant, injecting proven leadership traits directly into their ranks. To protect their new civilization from an asteroid strike or extinction event, they looked beyond Earth. They launched tardigrades, microscopic, nearly indestructible organisms called extremophiles, to the Moon and Mars to initiate the long process of terraforming a breathable atmosphere. Back on Earth, they bypassed unsolvable ethnic conflicts by building massive bifurcated cities. Taking inspiration from Derinkuyu, an ancient multi-level underground city found in Turkey, they simply separated warring populations. One group lived above ground, and the other lived in sprawling, luxurious subterranean complexes. The general successfully made traditional war obsolete. Through extreme material abundance, renewable energy, and mimetic engineering, he permanently deactivated the structural reasons for human conflict. Yet, in doing so, he engineered an inescapable, rapidly expanding global autocracy.